After spending almost 28 years on the planet, did you know that Alex Samuel has never had real spaghetti?
What?
Welcome to Professionally Casual Gamers, a podcast where two friends kick back after a long weekend and casually talk about everything gaming. I'm your host, Alex, joined by co-host and puzzle master Ralph.
What
How
up?
have you been, Ralph?
I'm good. How have you been after the last 2 days?
Yeah, I was going to say we hung out Friday night, and we had an episode, a really good episode recorded. There was some really awesome energy in that one, some jokes being slung back and forth about my innocence in the spaghetti world.
Innocence? What? All right. So just a little bit of context for everyone. So the reason the fun fact is not video game related for this like tiny impromptu episode is because we really wanted to bring back the shenanigans that Alex's life is. So for context,
my life is a meme.
For context, I took Alex to Jollibee, which is this Filipino fast food chain.
The food of his people.
The food of my people. And one thing that's a little bit weird about Jollibee is that we serve sweet spaghetti. And so
I like how you say we serve sweet spaghetti.
It's a culture,
like,
Alex.
You're just hopping behind the counter.
I'm part of the process. And so Alex, he's like, I'm going to try it out. That's cool. We'll check out some new things. So we take it home and he eats it. And he just says, this is just normal spaghetti, everyone. And then my wife and I just look at him like, this is not normal spaghetti. What do you think normal spaghetti tastes like?
I offended his wife, Sam, because Sam is, where I am a spaghetti, innocent in the realm of spaghetti. She's like a connoisseur, a professional for spaghetti.
She's ride or die Italian. Yeah. So whenever we go to Jollibee, she spits at it. She's like, that's not real spaghetti. But for some reason, I was like, this is just how my mom makes my spaghetti.
Dude, literally, I'm like, I'm back home. I'm in the 3rd grade, just finished school, watching some Dragon Ball Z. I've got my bowl of spaghetti.
They add hot dogs in there, some Velveeta cheese.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. I didn't know what to think about that. I saw it and I took a bite. I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this round mystery meat and like hot dogs? I'm like, oh, we're doing that, are we?
So fast forward to when we finished recording the podcast, he just couldn't let it go. And he's like, so if spaghetti, like your spaghetti is sweet, so is normal spaghetti spicy? And so I just look at him some more. I'm like, Alex, normal spaghetti is not spicy.
But see, this is the thing, Ralph. I've never actually had normal spaghetti, apparently. If my mom's just tastes like, or this way I've always had is just sweet spaghetti, quote unquote. Because have I been to Italian restaurants? Sure, yeah. But I don't know why. I just feel like spaghetti is one of the more rudimentary Italian dishes.
Rudimentary?
Right? I don't know. Because you're like, oh, yeah, I can just like make spaghetti at home, whatever. Dude, I'm getting that risotto when I go to a restaurant.
Well, clearly you're not making spaghetti at home, so.
You're right. Oh my go-to is the Jollibee sauce, I guess.
Dude. Well, and then the other thing too, like let's say you go to an Italian restaurant and you're thinking, man, you know what Italian food is known for? Spiciness. That's what Italian food is known for.
It's a spicy meatball.
Oh man, so that was just a good laugh, and we needed to make sure that was implemented into this episode.
Yeah, needed to run it back. Listeners, if you've had Jollibee and you're like, yeah, no, that just tastes like normal spaghetti, please comment, let me know so I had like a low-key identity crisis on Friday, but the silver lining was Ralph's wife Sam was like, okay, I'll cook you real spaghetti. So Alex got a free meal out of it. Well, I will get a free meal. It hasn't happened yet. So you know what? Identity crisis aside, I got a free meal out of it. So we're good.
This guy.
Yeah. So this is our, it's kind of a mini-sode, but it's a replacement for episode 27. So we'll just call it episode 27. Why not? And you know what? Given that intro, this is going to be the Alex episode. So maybe one day we'll have a Ralph episode where we can learn about his tragic past.
Oh no! No, don't bring it up, Alex.
When I learned about it, I was like, I couldn't look at him the same. I still can't look at him the same way after it.
I don't like how we're like putting my history on blast.
Okay, anyways. No, you're like a anime pro tag. You
I
have
hate you.
the shattered
I
thing.
hate you so much.
Anyways,
Now everyone's gonna want to know.
they might. I don't blame them for wanting to know. You're a man of mystery.
I hate
You're
you.
short, dark, and mysterious.
I hate you. Why you gotta be like that? Wow. 5'7". It's such a meme. I hate
Wait,
you.
are you?
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude! I thought you were like 5'10".
No, dude.
Okay, sorry.
Maybe you think you're taller than you are. Maybe you think you're like 6'5", but you're actually like 5'11".
I'm 6'1.5".
Anyway, no. If you thought I was 5'10", dude.
I don't know. Okay. Anyways, let's move on to the topic. So in light of an upcoming date I will have in the next couple weeks, the topic that I brought up to Ralph was, should I, in case the date comes back, and I've got some interesting decor in my room. So the topic of this conversation will be: should you hide your nerdiness on the first date?
Okay.
Right?
So Alex and I had a fun conversation about this while we were picking up our nice, juicy, delicious Jollibee.
Come back with that sweet spaghetti.
Was that Alex was like, oh, dude, like I have a date coming up. I have some stuff in my room. Not that like anything's happening, but like, should I like hide stuff? And I said, Alex, you should never try to hide who you are from someone. And so we got into this full conversation about, your personality and like you not needing to hide it. And Alex is just like, Ralph, it's just the first date. Like, you need to chill out.
Yeah, I feel like Ralph was getting ready to like plan my bachelor party, plan my honeymoon. You need to name your kids after me and stuff. I'm like, Ralph, we haven't even had the first date yet.
I just care. I just care that you live your best life with no secrets. You don't want to hide the waifu body pillow underneath the bed when you're going to sleep and then taking her out at the middle of the night apologizing. You know what I mean?
You're right. I would never apologize about my waifu body pillows.
Oh my god. Well, first of all, Alex doesn't have a waifu body pillow.
I don't. Okay, we can we'll talk about my situation. I guess we could break off into more broad discussions about this, but in my room, I've got my work desk, right? Because I've been working from home for a while. I've got a few statues, figures. I've got a Link figure. I've got a Sephiroth figure. I've got an All Might figure from My Hero Academia. And I have a teddy bear that's like the Flash, because the Flash is probably one of my favorite superheroes. Looking at my walls, I've got some pretty cool video game posters. I have this sweet Mario Kart one.
Oh, you do?
I know, yeah, I do. I'll take a picture of it so we can post it on the Instagram too. It's pretty dope. I got it at PAX West. Shout out to Cone, I guess he was there. And then my sister got me the Super Smash Bros. Poster, which is like all the characters in the Smash Bros. Logo.
Is that like the wall art? Everyone is here one?
Yeah, kind of. And then where it gets possibly a little dicey, I've got a lot of anime Blu-rays.
Okay.
All right, and you know what? I'm not ashamed of them because they're great shows. And yeah, they kind of...
Except Wolf Children, which is probably the worst anime ever made.
Great movie. I've got my $100 Your Lie in April Blu-ray, which I'm going to bust out in a few weeks.
You spent $100 on a Blu-ray?
And I never looked back, Ralph. And I never looked back.
But you can watch it for free.
Yeah, I can watch it. There's a lot of places you can watch on Crunchyroll. You can watch on Hulu. You can watch on Netflix. I'm sure you can watch on like Funimation. But no, it's not the same. I spent $100, and yeah, I'm gonna watch it that way. And then obviously, on top of the anime stuff, I've got like the PS5, the Switch, a bunch of video game stuff. And it definitely catches your eye in my room. So my thing to Ralph was, do you think maybe instead of like having 4 figures on my desk, I should like move a couple in my closet, or into like these anime Blu-rays, should I just like put them in the closet, maybe bust them out after a few dates? Just kind of throwing it out there to get his opinion on it, because he's kind of, he's also similar nerdiness as I am, I would say.
And I was able to wife someone.
And
you know what I mean?
you were able to wife someone up. That's right. Granted, your situation is different because you started dating Sam in college, and I feel like your room.
I locked her in early. You know what I mean? She couldn't leave.
Oh my god. I feel like your room in college wasn't too like nerdy. Like it was pretty bare. Am I wrong? I don't know. It's been a while.
I think you're correct. A lot of my room was mostly decorated related to music, and that was just like posters.
It's
and
more
stuff.
mainstream and acceptable.
Right, but partly that was because I was poor. No, because I was poor. I can't afford anything in college.
We all were. It's okay.
Right. So then, like, fast forward to now where I have a little bit more disposable income. I'm buying PlayStations, Oculus, any VR thing, figures here and there, posters. But one thing that I make a point of with the things that I buy, at least, I try to make them as subtle as possible. And so, I make my nerdiness a little bit as subtle as possible because I think going into an adult like relationship, as well as like going back to the topic of you having a date and like, hey, should I kind of dial down my nerdiness? I don't necessarily think that you need to dial down your nerdiness.
I need to dial it up.
Not necessarily, but I think you need to present it in a more adult fashion. I think that's what needs to like be more clear about some of the nerdiness stuff. So like instead of like figures just being on a table, maybe you like install a shelf and then you have some of the figures decorated as if they were like shelf decorations, and then maybe some books in there as well. And then frame it, making sure that your posters are framed so that it's not just like taped up on the wall. Right. So like making sure that it looks like an adult room, but it showcases the beauty that is your nerd culture. But there are some things that are a little bit suspect in your room because I've been there.
Are you serious?
No. I think
to get called out.
No.
I don't empty my trash can as much as I should. You got me.
I hate you so much. No, like I think this conversation stemmed from. I think all of your Blu-rays are fine, right? But then I think you brought up there was.
I do have a Spice and Wolf Blu-ray.
Right, so that was the Blu-ray that you were like, I don't know if this should be out. Like, should I like hide this underneath?
It's actually currently on top. I don't even know why because I haven't watched it in a long time.
You like looking at it, you know what I mean? It's
a show about economics, I swear. Anyone who says otherwise hasn't actually watched it.
She's a wolf lady, right? Like for context, for
that's
the listeners,
that's what's on the cover. Yes.
What does the cover look like? Is she like sensual? Like is she like a wolf lady? Well,
it's wolf lady.
Like walk us through the photo, Alex.
It's okay. I guess I can post this on the Instagram too. The Wolf Children Blu-ray cover is just the main girl. Her name is Holo, and she's a wolf woman. She's like a wolf goddess. She's kind of great. She's awesome. She's a great character. But yeah, at first glance, it's like, oh, what? Why do you have that? It's kind of weird. So maybe we'll put that on the bottom.
Yeah, I think where we landed with this was, all right, I think Your Lie in April is fine. Your Name is fine. You know, like the more like normal looking
mainstream,
the mainstream anime can go to the top, and then Spice Wolf or whatever, Spicy Wolf,
Spice and Wolf. It's about economics, I swear, and free trade.
Spicy Wolf gets put down to the bottom. You know, like if she really wanted to see your collection, she'll need to like dig through the Blu-rays.
Yeah, I do like your idea of presentation because I think that could have, I think that's just as important as just having them, because I think like I could walk through a person who, if the dinner went well and we decided to go back to my place, obviously she's entertaining me, or like, something has gone well and she wants to stick around to, just hang out, get to know me more, and continue the relationship. So walking through like why I have these figures, why I chose to have some of these video games or Blu-rays or art decorations, that'd be like honestly a really good opportunity for someone to know me. I mean, honestly, I would love to talk about these with anyone. because it's just stuff that I'm passionate about and stuff I really like. That's why I spent money on it to just have in my room.
Right. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So
And I
that
think-
that way it is in a manner of presenting like, oh yeah, here's my nerd shit. It's like, okay, I have this because Sephiroth is awesome, Final Fantasy VII, it's why we started this podcast in the first place, etc.
Yeah, I don't know how far in you would need to have that conversation though, because I think you would need to kind of read the room too, right? Like, is she like into this, or she's like, oh no, this is a man child. Like, what are we doing? I've been
called
here?
A man child before. You know what? I've been called worse. Not by a date.
Oh no!
By like my cousin.
Oh my god.
So that's fine. I don't really care.
I think first and foremost, being a man child is totally fine as long as you're a functioning member of society.
I have a job.
Exactly. In video games.
Own, yeah.
You have a job in video games. You're fine. It supports your living,
exactly.
what I mean? Yeah, so I think going back to it, right? Like, I don't think you necessarily need to hide it. If you don't have time, I don't know when your date is, but if you don't have time to like make it look presentable, like in a nice like way, maybe like hide a few figures that you think might be a little bit weird. Like, I think like the All Might figure might trip someone up. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think like
He's
the
cool.
others. Yeah, All Might is super cool. I love All Might, but I think the way that I don't know. I don't remember what your All Might figure looks like, but we're gonna just need to do a little tour on Instagram when we post this of your room. But and then we'll ask the listeners what is acceptable to be in your room. And so, like, it's just like when you watch anime, that's the normal kind of face, like everything's dark and then you can't really see their like facial expressions, but it's a little bit unnerving if you don't know the context
of All Might.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being acceptable, 1 being why is that in your room, this All Might figure is a 10. Because we all know anime figures can get really weird really fast.
No, I totally,
I get like that. All Might lunging in for a punch, like totally fine.
Okay, yeah. Well, where do you stand, right? So we've been talking about this a little bit, and where do you stand about like how you want to conduct your room as an adult man child who is very proud of
Can we just call me an adult?
As an adult who's very proud of your toys and action figures.
Honestly, I really like the idea I brought up earlier of, each thing in my room has a bit of a story to me. And obviously I'm not going to give my life story because no one's got time for that.
When I was a child, I watched a lot of Naruto.
1992, yeah.
And it got me through the hard times. I just believed in myself.
Oh no. And I had my orange jumpsuit. Yeah, exactly. But, I definitely would want to talk about how, some of these are my favorite video game series. It's why I'm in the industry I'm in right now. And that, just opens discussion on the table for like jobs in general, future goals, what you want to do or see yourself in 5 years. So, there's definitely ways to spin just common interests, stuff you're passionate about.
Right. And I think that's super cool. Yeah. That's super cool. I don't think that's something to be embarrassed about at all. I could think on my toes. Yeah, you'd be perfect. It's like a job interview. You're like,
you know what? Like low key, yes. In a way.
Low key, yes.
Like a first date, not like after that, but like the first date, I could see a little bit. I mean,
like,
really, where
do you see yourself in 10 years?
Yeah, right. Jotting it down. Oh, okay, yeah. This was nice. We'll let you know in 2-3 weeks if you
if you got called back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, but dating is just figuring out why the other person is single.
What? You are just saying some hot takes tonight.
And I'm letting her know out of the floodgates. You see this Sephiroth figure, you see this Spiceable Blu-ray. Here's the answer to your question of why I'm
Well, okay, and then the other thing too, like I know that we're joking around about this and like it's a little bit like memeing, but like if it goes well and like what you're saying is, hey, like, this is like why I'm into this stuff. Like, this is my career goals. I want to continue my career in the games industry, and kind of developing my self professionally that way. If like that goes well, that means you have a segue into someone who genuinely like, because I think one thing about like video games and nerddom, right? There is a little bit of a stigma behind it, right?
Oh,
so like, oh, like, why are you playing
yeah.
video games? Or like, why is that your hobby? Or like things like that. So like, if you have someone that genuinely thinks that that is a genuinely fine hobby, that's super cool, and that it's kind of connected with your career goals, moving forward, it's just going to make a more positive relationship should it move forward, right? So like when you play video games, it's not like, oh, why aren't you spending time with me? I'm playing video games. It's because that's how you de-stress. But I think that's cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with that 100%. And listeners, just so there is no confusion, kind of to reiterate what we were talking about before, it's not like we're saying you need to hide who you are in general. It's just, should I maybe tone it down or change it for the first date? Only the first. I have no intention of hiding.
Go like 200%. 200%. Neon lights. Put it on the shelf.
Show up to the date in a Naruto outfit.
No, I think that's a genuinely fine thing. And then I don't want to say it's like baggage or whatever, right? But like, you don't give, I don't know. I typically don't give everyone 100%. Like, well, the first time that I meet them, it's one of those things where, you know, as you become, you know, closer, you like peel off layers of who you are, whatever
like
you're comfortable.
Onions,
like onions, like
ogres.
Shrek, like ogres.
We're all Shrek.
Right.
No, that's totally true, right? You slowly get to know each other. You slowly, you know, put down your walls. I just got like a flashback to like PTSD to Donald Trump building walls.
Oh no, I hate you.
Oh my god. But no, you slowly let down your defenses. You slowly put up more anime figures because you know it's gonna be okay.
And then your date's like, hey, you want, like 2 weeks later, hey, like, you want to go grab drinks? And you're like, oh, I can't. I'm playing League with the boys.
Click. Hangs up phone. Yeah, but
and then you end up losing, and you're like 5 minutes later, hey, like, you still want to grab drinks?
we surrendered at 15 minutes because my team's trash.
No, I got you. No, but I think you're gonna have a very positive time. She's gonna be more focused on your sparkling personality over your All Might photo or your All Might figure, dude.
So let me ask you this. So since you have locked down the relationship, so we're on the opposite end of the spectrum, I guess. I'm just starting this and you've already ended. Did you have to make any compromises in your nerdiness, quote unquote?
Not necessarily. I think we kind of align with where I see my nerdiness and how
Sam
I conduct
is
it.
an equal nerd to you?
No, she's not an equal nerd, but the way that like I buy figures, like typically when I buy figures, they're kind of very subtle and discreet. And that's how I like to have stuff. So if, you know, for some people that haven't been to my place, like I have a bunch of photos and like posters of like different nerd stuff, but they don't look like the typical, you know, anime poster or video game poster that's the key art that they have. They're typically different art pieces from Etsy or something like that. So like one time for my birthday, Sam got me a custom made map of the Pokemon region, but it doesn't look like a pixelated whatever. It looks like a genuine pirates map, but it just has like Pokemon aspects to it. So like if you look closely,
sounds really cool.
Yeah, if you look closely, if you know what you're looking for, you understand that that's a Pokemon map. Like I have like a Fight Night poster that just looks like a fight, like a fighting poster, like a boxing poster, but it's actually like of a Pokemon thing. Granted, if the way that I'm thinking about it, there have a lot of Pokemon stuff, but you really have to look for it.
You really do. I was like, you do have a lot of everything, but the majority might be Pokemon.
Hey man, they got me young. You know what I mean? 25 years.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, man. But yeah, like it's not bad. Like obviously she doesn't want 3,000 figures everywhere, but I am really picky with my figures, and I do kind of need to like take a step back and say, is this something that I want in my home? So, like, for instance, I asked Alex, like, as you know, I'm a big Persona fan.
Mhm.
I asked Alex, should I get a Makoto Nijima like figure?
I hard vetoed that.
Right, which is usually fine, but like I thought about it, it's the issue with some of the female figures that just come from Japan.
Yeah.
They're just not very kosher.
Right. And that's what I was saying. Like, anime figures can get, like, really awkward really quickly.
Right. So they're not very, like, kosher. And so it's a little bit too hypersexual. So I'm trying to find, like, a cool way to, like, represent some of my Persona fandom without having those type of figures. So the way that I kind of had this discussion with Alex, maybe sometime in the future, I'll just have all of the Phantom Thieves, which would end up being super expensive, but because everyone would be represented, you don't need to like focus in on the one lone female figure that would be in the house, right?
And honestly, like that Makoto one, in the grand scheme of things, like of figures in general, it's not even like, that's the crazy thing. It's not even like that bad. It's just like she's riding the motorcycle. And she's like, "Oh, this motorcycle's great, but let me stick my ass out first."
Right.
Basically, what's going on?
So let's not have that. But yeah, I don't think you have anything in your room. I think mine
are like pretty chill.
That are kind of like to that scale. Even like, so let me ask you this, and I don't want to like go too nuts about this topic. Like, would you ever have figures of like anime females in your room ever? Like, it doesn't need to be sexual, but like, would you ever have a female anime figure in your room?
If it wasn't cringy and like, you know, how you phrase it, hypersexualized.
So what defines cringy? Like what is a cringe? Because in my head, like the Makoto all of them, figure, I guess, like in my head, like all of the anime female figures are cringy.
Yeah, most of them are. So I'd have to be pretty picky with it. Maybe like a Nendroid. Those are pretty chill.
Yeah, I guess the Nendroids are cool. They're so expensive, though. I want a collection.
I mean, all anime figures are pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's where your hard-earned cash goes to, Alex. Not dates. It's the $200 statue of All Might.
Ooh, sorry, babe. We can't get dessert. I bought an All Might figure.
I need to get the corresponding Deku one that attaches to it.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, you know, I think in terms of like first date, I think my stuff is okay. The only alteration I'll make is moving Spice and Wolf to the bottom. Sorry, Holo.
Spice and Wolf. You should consider putting up shelves, dude. They're so easy to put up.
I have like a small-ish bookshelf. Yeah. I don't know when the last time you were in my room was, but it's there. It's chilling. I have like an entertainment center too beside that. So, yeah. Yep.
You know what? Next time we see each other, I'm gonna help you decorate your room. It's gonna be exciting.
I don't know. What?
We're gonna do it.
What were those like home remodel shows?
Yeah, but like to make it like nerdier. It's a good time.
God. Yeah. So, listeners, I get to wrap this up. We've kind of been discussing trying out a second podcast, like a sister podcast. This one called Professionally Casual Conversations, and it would just be kind of random topics that we think of just you know throughout our lives that we wanted to talk about, and so this is kind of a taste of that. It wouldn't be every week. It would probably be, you know, maybe twice, 3 times a month, whatever our schedule would be. But yeah, if you like this, please let us know on Instagram comments, Twitter comments, or email at professionallycasualgamers@gmail.com, because your feedback is always great. And of course, we'll be mentioning whatever feedback we get, whatever comments we get on our next episode. So yeah, I guess with that, we'll wrap it up. So thanks for listening. And yeah, as always, keep it casual.
Bye.